What is going on, everyone? Let's talk about religion and the countries that really get into it. Today we're talking about countries with the smallest portion of the population that claim to be atheists. If you don't know what atheism is, it can simply be explained as a person who doesn't believe in God or some other form of higher power. There are several flavors of atheism that I'm not going to get into. We're just kind of broad brushing it here with people that say they don't believe in the big man upstairs. In the video where we looked at countries with the most atheists, I said there will be a ton of people in the comments section talking about the different types of atheism and how I can't just label them all as atheists. I was right, they showed up. So this time we're going to do it a little bit different to kind of appease them. We're going to take it a step further and include some other numbers, those that are convinced of atheism and non-religious people. Just so you know, we are just going by a survey done by WinMR. This was a survey done across the globe. For some reason, people seem to think that just because I'm in the US, that's the only people I get surveys from, or that's the only people that are taking these surveys. No, it's a global thing. That's the amazing thing about the internet. It can reach every corner of the earth. All right. Just so you know in advance, the survey found that 43% of Americans fall into the atheist crowd. All right, let's take a look at what countries are holding on to their religion. Number 10, Brazil. Yes, that amazing country down in South America, Brazil, where they have amazing scenery on the beaches, and on Sunday they all hit church. And just in case you didn't see the last video, to put this in perspective, China is the country with the most atheists, and they have 91% of their population doesn't believe in any form of God or higher being or anything. So when you start seeing these numbers, you'll be a little shocked. Brazil has a population of almost 215 million residents, and 19% of them consider themselves atheists. Of those atheists, about 15% consider themselves non-religious, and 4% consider themselves confirmed atheists. But when you look at the people that do believe in religion, 95% of the Brazilian population believes in Christianity. Number 9, Colombia. Staying right next door to Brazil, we go with Colombia. These countries are very similar when it comes to their landscape, and that's about it. Being next door to each other, you'd honestly think these people would be a little more alike. I find no similarities between the two people. That's just my own experience. I'm sure there are. They're right next door to each other. I just don't see it. Colombia has a population of just over 50 million residents, and of that population, 16% of Colombians don't believe in God or any other form of higher power. Of that 16%, 13 are just non-religious, with 3% being confirmed atheists. And of the people that actually do believe in religion, 87% follow Christianity. Number 8, Paraguay. Paraguay has a population of about 7.5 million residents, and of them, 13% don't believe in religion. Of the 13%, 11% consider themselves non-religious, with 2 being confirmed atheists. Now, this is a very religious country, as you could tell by the numbers we're given, and 97% of the people living here believe in Christianity. I did a video not too long ago about Paraguay, and some guy that's, I guess he's an American that lives down there, I guess reviewed my video or critiqued it or reacted to it. And I got about 30 seconds into the video and I had to stop because he's one of those guys that him and his wife do the videos, but when they stand next to each other, they always have their hand around each other's waist. Like every video, that's what they're doing. We used to call that a clump of flesh in high school. Number 7, Romania. All right, we finally leave South America and end up over in Romania. Romania is a southeastern European country that is kind of in the Balkans. Some people consider it Balkans, some people don't. Historians state that the Balkans comprise of Albania, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Bulgaria, Croatia, Greece, Kosovo, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Romania, Serbia, and Slovenia. These days it's considered partly in the Balkan Peninsula. But one thing we know for sure, Romania is a southeastern European country known for the forested region of Transylvania. Yes, the whole Dracula thing comes from Romania. That is a very interesting story. If you ever have some time, look up Vlad the Impaler and all that stuff. It's not the Dracula story that you probably grew up on here in the United States. It's a little more in depth and a little more historical and a little more scary. Only 11% of Romania is considered atheist, with 8% being non-religious and 3% being confirmed atheists. 96.5% of the religious population believe in Christianity. Number 6, the Philippines. The Philippines never really struck me as a religious country. While researching this, I did some reading, and yeah, they are a very religious country. Most countries have several religions that the population believes in. There's usually one or two big ones, and then a bunch of other ones that are less than 1%. The Philippines is the first one that follows 3 with good numbers. In the Philippines, 10% of the population consider themselves atheists. Of those atheists, non-religious is 9%, and confirmed atheists is only 1%. Of the believers in the Philippines, 85% believe in Christianity, 6% are Muslims, and 3% are Buddhists. They have some other ones, but those are the ones that are all above like 1%. Number 5, Armenia. Armenia has a long and interesting history that includes being part of the Soviet Union. They are a landlocked country between Georgia, Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Iran. This is one of those countries that's changed hands a lot over the years. Just to name a few, the Romans were here for a while, Byzantines, Persians, Mongols, Ottomans, and of course they were part of the Soviet Union. This is a very religious country, it always has been. Only 7% of their population claims to be atheist. 5% say they are non-religious, with only 2% being confirmed atheists. 98.5% of the believers here believe in Christianity. Number 4, Pakistan. Did you know Pakistan was religious? They're very religious. So much so, their official name is actually the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. They are sandwiched between Iran, Afghanistan, India, and a little bit of China, along with the Arabian Sea. And it is the world's 5th most populous country, 227 million residents. And it has the world's 2nd largest Muslim population. Only 7% of the Pakistani people claim they are atheists, with 6% being non-religious and 1% being confirmed atheist. 96% of the believers here are Muslim and 2.5% are Hindu. Number 6, Ghana. Down to Africa we go, and Ghana, which sits on the Gulf of Guinea, which these days happen to be a pirate hotspot. You always heard about the Somali pirates and stuff. It happens pretty big over here in the Gulf of Guinea. Ghana has a population of about 32 million residents. And I never really thought the West African countries were very religious, but they are. That's just me. I didn't know much about it, and I just assumed. I shouldn't say I assumed they weren't very religious. It's just not something that ever occurred to me. But in Ghana, they take their religion very seriously, and they're very devoted. Only 6% of their population claim to be atheist, but none of them are committed atheists. They're all non-religious atheists. And yes, there is a difference. But of the believers, 74% believe in Christianity, 17% are Muslim, and then 5% are folk religion, which is defined as beliefs, practices, rituals, and symbols originating from sources other than religious leadership. Basically, for lack of a better term, and I hope this doesn't insult anyone, but it usually from when they were in villages and stuff like that, it's beliefs and practices and rituals that they passed on from them. I'm talking way back in the day. Number 2, India. India is the 2nd most populous country on the planet, right behind China. They got 1.3 billion residents in India. That's a lot of people, and they're all very religious. Not all of them, but a whole bunch of them. India is sandwiched between Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and China. They also have Sri Lanka right off its southern tip. Now, there's a little land bridge there called Adam's Bridge, and as recently as 500 years ago, you could walk from India to Sri Lanka, but now it's like a coral reef and sand and all this, and you can't walk the entire way now. You'd have to get a boat or I guess swim a bunch at certain areas. There's a lot of interesting stories about this land bridge. One of them, my favorite, is Hindus believe that it was built by a monkey army. In India, only 6% of the population claim they are atheists, with 4% claiming to be non-religious, with 2% being confirmed atheists. 79% of the believers are Hindu, 15% are Muslim, and 2% believe in Christianity. All right, before we get to number 1, don't forget we have another channel called On This Day. It is growing, and we would like to grow it some more. There's a link down below. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Thailand. If you didn't know Thailand was a very religious country, you've never been to Thailand. There's temples everywhere in this country, and they are insanely beautiful. There's whole videos, several dozen videos just on the temples of Thailand. You got the White Temple, which is amazing. You got the Temple of the Reclining Buddha. Yeah, that's a real thing. That one's pretty cool. And the Sanctuary of Truth. That one looks like something out of a movie. And if you didn't know, Thailand is one of the most Buddhist countries we got on the planet. If you don't know where where Thailand is. It's down there near Vietnam, but surrounded by Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Malaysia. It's got a funky shape to it. Thailand has a population of almost 70 million residents, and 3% consider themselves some form of atheist, with 2% of those considering themselves non-religious, and only 1% are confirmed atheists. 93% of the believers are Buddhist in Thailand, and 6% are Muslim. Everyone else is under 1%. Thailand is a beautiful country, and a lot of Americans are moving there, or have been for quite some time, but it's kind of a hot spot for people leaving the United States to go live someplace else. But beautiful country, beautiful people. If you could only visit one Asian country, there's a good argument Thailand should be the one you visit. All right, that's today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a productive day, and be nice to each other.